And for an update, I'd like to introduce Glenn Rothwell and his team. They are a really good example of how the communities come together, and they've worked the process of being entrepreneurs while being full-time students and being tenacious and going out and getting the letters of intent and finding the manufacturers. And if anybody has leads to offer these guys, Coast Designwear is a luxury eyewear company based out of RPI right now. But yeah, I'll leave it to it.
How's it going tonight, everyone?
Great.
I'm excited to be back here for an update. So I'm Glenn Rothwell, like Christine mentioned, along with my co-founder Mark Olivier. We're both seniors here at RPI. I'm a dual major in business management and product design. And Mark, go ahead.
And I'm a mechanical engineer. So we're graduating in May, and we really hope to do this full time. So we're really trying to do this final push because we're really excited to move forward.
So we first came to Startup Tech Valley in, I think it was November of 2014. We had a pretty crude product. It was just a very rough prototype in the simplest sense. So we're excited to come today with full product, and in addition to that, some letters of intents from retailers in New York City. So our company is Coast Designwear. And if the clicker works, here we go. So we're an eyewear design company. What got us to start our company is actually right here in Crossgates Mall. We walked into a Sunglass Hut shop. And one thing that we noticed was all the pairs of glasses on the shelf, you've got massive walls. Everything is made out of plastic or metal. It all looks pretty much the same, except for like maybe a logo. You know, like you've got like a Prada or a Dior or something like that. So we did a bit of research into that, and it turns out everything is pretty much made in the same factory over in Italy. There's really nothing that actually distinguishes one product from another. And then we started talking to a bunch of our friends, and eventually to people all across the United States, both in California, New York, multiple other states. And one thing we found is that people wanted an individual product that really set them apart from a lot of other people. So what we do at Coast is we think that eyewear should be a personal expression. The history of eyewear is really interesting, dating back hundreds of years. There were all these independent designers, each putting their personal touch and personal flair on frames. And somehow, since the mid-1990s or so, a lot of it has become incredibly commercialized and streamlined into very similar looking and, in our opinion, rather boring designs. So we bring a certain level of individuality to your style. Our frames are handcrafted 100% in Germany. And what we do is we start with a 15-layer laminate of exotic woods and carbon fiber. All of our wood components are sustainably sourced from FSC certified suppliers. And then what we do is we have our craftsmen in Germany individually customize frames for people. And then we also have some larger production runs that are at a slightly lower price point. So another thing we noticed is you've got fashion communities in New York, you've got fashion communities in LA. Everyone is super up in arms, they think that they're the best. Mark is from LA, I'm from New York, and we realized that we could kind of come together and create some unity in this ecosystem. So we actually take our material inspiration from the wood out in California, we take our design inspiration and brand inspiration from New York City in the fashion community, we integrate those together and we've come up with a product that our users love. And we unite art with advanced materials, going back to the days of eyewear design, where it was truly individual and inspired by the individual craftsman, and then we integrate advanced materials such as the carbon fiber and wood. And now Mark is going to walk you through our milestones to date since our last pitch.
Right, so we've gone through a lot of morphing and changing since we last pitched in October. And so focusing on the product itself, we knew that in order to stand out, we need to focus on quality. We need to make sure that if we're going to make these eyewear frames out of wood and carbon fiber, it needed to be representative of these materials that we were implementing. So we partnered with IVCO, our contract manufacturer in Germany, because they've been doing this thing since the 1980s. They have a really good history of working with these materials that other manufacturers kind of skew away from. So we initially knew that we wanted to partner with someone that's gone through this process, is willing to work with a small startup like us, where we don't have a lot of experience in the fashion industry. So that's another thing that I want to talk about. We've expanded our board of advisors. We've really tried to bring on board people that have been through the startup phase, specifically pertaining to men's fashion and women's fashion eyewear. So we've brought on board someone who's basically started Calvin Klein's eyewear line, as well as Hugo Boss's, who's really walking us through this process to make sure that we meet the right people, get into the right retail stores, and make the right connections in order to continue to grow. So going into retail as well, we've focused on getting into these, this is a niche market. We focused on getting niche stores which already have a strong customer following for products like ours. So we focused on partnering with them. We've got letters of intent from them because we've gone around the West Coast and the East Coast, showing them our glasses, our prototypes, and going, how can we improve this product? What do you like about it? What can you show this to customers? And we've gotten an overwhelming amount of positive reception, kind of fueling our idea and going, let's continue to do this. So we've gotten letters of intent from multiple retail stores, and have also branched out into talking to companies that can give us our own retail location, so we can have our own retail store and help kind of bring this theme of West and East Coast together under the same roof.
So in addition to what Mark just said, we've also done a couple of exciting pop-up shops right here in Troy at Lucas Confectionery last month, which was a lot of fun. And also we had the opportunity to display our glasses and get feedback at the Facebook headquarters in New York City. So it's really just been about building the team, building the product. Now, like Mark said, we've got a shop in Chelsea Market in New York City that's on board. We've got the Soho Grand Hotel. And we'll talk to you a bit more about what we're looking for to grow further. So as far as our growth plans, right now our product, each pair of glasses retails for $800 a pair, so it is a niche product. We're looking to start with this premium product to really allow ourselves to differentiate from what other people are offering in the market. That will and has been getting us recognition, and then we will use our revenues to invest into growing our product lines further into both lower price points and then actually higher price point products that use precious metals for the components as well. And a really cool thing that we've actually been experimenting with lately is from the e-commerce perspective with augmented reality, because through talking to countless people, one of the biggest pain points is when you're buying something that's really expensive online, you're often hesitant to drop the money online and then get it shipped to you. And if you receive it and it doesn't fit, you'll send it back. So from a retailer standpoint, there's a lot of restocking fee, and that's actually one of their biggest losses from e-commerce is that a very high percentage, sometimes upwards of 20% people end up returning the product because it doesn't fit or doesn't look good. So we've been working with computer science students at RPI to come up with a solution that just by looking at your webcam on your phone or your laptop, it actually sizes you within roughly 1 millimeter of tolerance for your glasses, and also allows a virtual try-on. So that is something that we're exploring, doing a software license with, subscription model, and that will just be another great revenue stream to supplement our core business model of eyewear design and manufacturing. So what are our goals moving forward? To really scale this business over a 5-year period and be able to get into all the verticals that we see potential in, growing from the premium product and expanding outward. We're seeking a total capital raise of $3 million. That will go towards several key hires, including designers, more fashion experts, a sales team, public relations people. We already have all those contacts. Right now we're just looking for the capital to be able to move this forward. And we're seeking a minimum of $500,000 to pursue this full time once we graduate right here in May. And then, we've also got, for example, the accelerator that we got into in Brooklyn, there's a rent cost associated with that, so that's all in our cost plan. And if you're interested in learning more about that, you can talk to us after this. So thank you very much for your attention, and if you've got any questions, I'd like to open up the floor right now. So our first question back there.
Are you incorporating 3D printing into your product? I noticed that in the fashion industry, they're kind of playing around with that. I'm very curious right now.
Yeah, I want to go ahead, Mark.
Right, so for our initial prototypes, we actually started out by 3D printing just because we love to see them come from our computer to our hand quickly. That was mainly for sizing issues. We needed to actually get an idea of how these would fit on people. But in terms of actual scaling, we're really focusing on putting ourselves in this niche market of luxury eyewear. You need to have a real affinity to the touch and the feel and the weight of the glasses. So we've shifted away from that as a high scale, high volume manufacturing method.
Another question here.
What research went into 800 versus 1,000 or 600?
That was really just interviewing the buyers and the people who actually deal with other brands and see what sells and what doesn't. In total, we've interviewed over 400 people over the past almost 2 years. A lot of those have been end customers, but almost just as many have been, those people in the key buy and sell side relationships. So we just asked them openly, what price point sells best, what does each category look like, and then we'd show them our product and say, where do you see this fitting? And pretty much what they said is anything coming out of Germany or Italy that's high quality of this level will be around actually like $2,000 per pair. So there are companies out there that are getting even bigger margins. It's just we need to continue to establish our brand. So that's how we came up with that price point. Question here?
How do you plan on differentiating yourself as a startup relative to established companies?
Yeah, that's a perfectly valid question. And a lot of that in the fashion industry is about what connections you have as far as promotion and PR. So one of the things that's going to be huge for us moving forward is celebrity endorsements. Again, we need inventory to be able to get to that point. We have actually the PR team from Bob Mackey that would love to work with us. But that's, again, we just need capital up front to be able to get those deals. Yeah, right here. Thanks, Jason. Yes, we do prescription as well.